At the beginning of the movie, we are introduced to Officer Cooper's daughter. The girl is happy to spend time with her father and accompany him while working. Years went by, and Roz Cooper decided to become a policeman and continue the family tradition. The heroine chases after a frightened man who just decided to run away from a date. The waiter brings the upset Roz the bill and sympathizes that she was unlucky again. At the police station, the heroine has no special respect, especially from Detective Gasser. Roz is called to her captain, and the TV shows the moment of detention of Baron Cortez, who was dealing in illegal substances. From Emmett, the girl receives a serious assignment. She needs to bring Mrs. Riva to the court so that she can testify against the criminal. In doing so, Roz must accompany the famous Detective Jackson. Unexpectedly, it turns out that Miss Cooper once got into a very funny story, about which jokes are made to this day. Despite the heroine's doubts, Captain Emmett is confident that she will be up to the task and will be able to deliver Mrs. Riva to Cortez's trial. On the way, Roz argues with Jackson, believing that the man in vain exceeds the allowable speed. The detective asks the girl to relax and enjoy their ride together. The heroes arrive at Mrs. Riva's posh mansion. Roz tries to stay close to her partner, and they meet Mr. Riva. Philippe is no longer sure he is ready to testify and put himself and his wife in such danger. Meanwhile, Roz goes up to see Mrs. Daniele Rive, who is packing her things. The heroine tries to remind her to take only the essentials with her and asks her to hurry up. The girls are arguing when a strange noise suddenly comes from downstairs. Roz asks Daniela to stay put and goes down to Jackson. It turns out that he and Mr. Rive were attacked by unknown masked men. The heroine tries to call for help, but drops her walkie-talkie. Suddenly another mercenary appears and a confrontation begins between them. Roz manages to notice a strange tattoo on the arm of one of the attackers. Jackson orders the girl to run to the car, and loses his life protecting her. The heroine remembers Mrs. Rive, and realizes that she must save her. Roz manages to find the girl in the car, and she takes her away from the mansion, intending to bring her to the trial and fulfill her assignment. Learning that she has turned into a widow, Daniela throws a tantrum and prevents the heroine from driving the car on the road. Roz urges the girl to come to her senses and call 911, giving the code for the situation. However, Daniela drops the phone on the road and their opportunity to call for help remains on the pavement. Roz stops at a small gas station to find the phone and call the semi-police station. However, Mrs. Riva is not willing to sit around and wait for Cortez to destroy her. This forces the heroine to go to extreme measures. Roz chains herself to the girl, and informs her that she is obligated to get her to Dallas for trial by 8 a.m., and will do so. The heroine reports everything to her department, mentioning a strange tattoo. Daniela guesses that it is a longhorn cow, which they wanted to make a symbol of the state. Detectives Gasser and Dixon arrive to help the girls. However, Roz guesses that the men couldn't have gotten to them so quickly. After high-fiving Gasser, the heroine notices the cow tattoo, and realizes that it was the masked attackers. Roz informs Mrs. Rive of this, and says they need to get out right away. Daniela agrees to play along, and lies to the detectives that she is having woman days. In the restroom, the girls try to get out through the window. However, Roz notices Dixon outside, and realizes that she needs to divert his attention somehow. The heroine fires several shots to make the man run to the front of the building, after which she continues trying to climb out through the window. Roz and Daniela manage to get out, after which they try to escape in their car. Using the phone that Ms. Riva had hidden under her dress, the heroine catches the police frequency. Roz learns that she is believed to be involved in the incident with Dixon and is being thoroughly searched for. Daniela gets out of the car just before a huge truck crashes into the car. Roz and her companion are covered in a white cloud. The girls lie to the driver that it's baking flour, though it's actually Philippe's supplies, then ask him to take them to some clothing store. After inhaling too much of the substance, Roz becomes very hyperactive and strange, causing her to attract unnecessary attention. In the store, the girls again hear an announcement that they are wanted by the police. While Daniela pays for the clothes she received, Roz notices two mercenaries in the cells, who attack them in the mansion. To escape, the girls stealthily make their way out of the store and hide in a van. Roz discovers that Miss Riva's suitcase contains shoes that her brother gave her. He once messed with bad people and went to the police, but it ended very badly. The heroine apologizes and decides to treat Daniela more tolerantly, and the latter in turn promises that she will not consider Roz a newcomer. However, when the girls get out of the van, Mrs. Reeve tries to escape. Roz is held at gunpoint by a driver, and Daniela decides to go back and save her by pretending they are a couple. The man gets caught up in the girls' games and accidentally injures his arm. Roz offers a deal. He goes to the hospital while she and Ms. Riva run away together. The man agrees, and the heroine starts reprimanding Daniela for trying to run away. The girls find a new car and continue their journey to Dallas. On the road, Daniela notices that her friend has started to fall asleep at the wheel, which may cause them both to have an accident. The girl begins to criticize Roz, and notes that she does not know how to communicate with people, repeats codes to calm down, and in general always thinks that she is right and others are wrong. The heroine tells her that a few days ago she had a date, but not a very successful one. Suddenly, Roz sees a surprised man in the rearview mirror and brakes, causing him to fall into the back of the car, hitting his head. Daniela realizes that there is a tracking beacon on his leg, which they urgently need to get rid of. At this point, the man comes to his senses and asks to talk calmly. Randy offers to help the girls, even though he has seen them on TV. A man offers to wait out the night at an American Indian casino, where the police have no search rights. Besides, 2 women are wanted, and if Randy gets behind the wheel, there will be even less suspicion of their car. Roz agrees to cooperate and helps the guy get rid of the tracking beacon. On the way, Daniela learns that the heroine is always trying to be like her father and advises her to be herself. Randy pulls up to the inspection post and reminds the girls that they need to hide. However, Roz realizes that the back of the car will be inspected and suggests a plan. The girls find a deer skin in the car and hide in it to get past the cops unnoticed. The plan succeeds and the heroes check into a hotel. Roz realizes she needs to find food, but she needs to handcuff Daniela so she doesn't escape again. Ms. Riva hugs the heroine and she goes to Randy's room, who turns out to be unclothed. Roz is embarrassed and says that they need food, in response to which the man offers to have dinner together. Unexpectedly, the heroine kisses Randy and asks him to hurry up and find food before she changes her mind. However, when Roz leaves the room, Daniela points a gun at her and informs her that she is not going to Dallas. A confrontation ensues between the girls, during which they speak unflatteringly of each other. Roz manages to reclaim her weapon, and she begins to suspect that the suitcase contains not only shoes. Daniela is lost as to how many pairs are in the suitcase, which is why the heroine asks her to show her everything that is inside the suitcase. Miss Riva confesses that the shoes are made of precious stones and metals. This is how Philippe smuggled money into the country, under the guise of having a stupid wife who was very fond of different outfits. Suddenly there is a knock on their room door. Roz hears voices and realizes that the detectives have come for them and they need to run away from here. The girls fall into Gasser's trap, but Randy comes to their rescue. Roz promises the guy to find his number on the database and call as soon as everything is over. Daniela takes advantage of her charm and gets on the bus. However, the heroine does not intend to give up and also tries to flirt with the driver to get inside the bus. When Roz gets inside, she realizes that it is full of elderly people who did not really want to hear all her proposals to the driver. Daniela takes to insulting the heroine, and the latter finds something to answer her. Suddenly the bus is followed by a police car with detectives in it. The driver is hastily evacuated from the vehicle, after which Daniela and Roz take control of the car by joint efforts, as the heroine does not reach the pedals. The girls decide to use weapons, after which they ram the detectives. The passengers of the bus are delighted by the chase. Roz and Daniela manage to escape by driving through a section of road being repaired. However, when the heroine decides to make a speech to the passengers, Miss Riva stuns her. Waking up, Roz realizes that she was abandoned in the bus in the middle of the road. Getting out of the car, the girl sees Daniela together with the mercenaries. In fact, Miss Riva was just supposed to be kidnapped, and she organized it herself. Roz guesses that Cortez destroyed Daniela's brother, which is why she wants revenge on him instead of just imprisoning him. Ms. Riva chains the heroine to a bus, and asks her not to interfere lest she pay with her life. Roz ends up coming to see Captain Emmett at the police station, and meanwhile Cortez is released for lack of witnesses and evidence. The heroine tries to explain that Daniela is preparing a devious plan and is in danger, but it sounds implausible. The boss transfers Roz back to the investigation department, but asks her to forget about the Cortez case. During the festivities, Daniela's accomplices act as security guards and help her sneak weapons in. Cortez suggests Ms. Riva talk in his office, then asks his men to turn the music up and bring drinks. Unexpectedly, Daniela encounters Roz disguised as a guy. The heroine proposes a new plan, according to which Ms. Riva must hide a listening device somewhere, and get a confession from Cortez in the crimes committed by him. In the meantime, Roz will distract everyone else and the girls can put their enemy in jail for a long time. Daniela agrees to this plan and hides the device. However, when the heroine is kicked out, the woman throws the device away. Roz returns to the party in a new disguise, and is confronted by Captain Emmett. The heroine manages to get away from the cop, and meanwhile Daniela is drinking with Cortez. Roz gets caught by Emmett again, and learns that he's been working with Cortez all along and took out her father. The heroine destroys the cop, and sets out to find Daniela. Meanwhile, Ms. Riva points a gun at Cortez, but he turns out to be ready for this turn of events. An armed Roz bursts into the office. She manages to disarm Cortez and save Daniela. The heroine begs Ms. Riva to let justice be done. Daniela agrees, but Cortez tries to take revenge on the woman. Roz protects her friend. After 3 months, the heroine takes Daniela out of jail, gives her some of the shoes, and they leave with Randy for a new life. This is the end of the movie. Thank you all for watching this video to the end. Give this video a like. Write in the comments what you think about this movie, and see you in new videos.